Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings. Before we start, quick disclaimer: anything we discuss is just for educational purpose. Nothing is financial advice. All right, guys, a lot of Friday, wrapping up this week into a 3-day long weekend. But amazing day today, amazing day in the community today. Only 8% traders were red, and we were mostly done in the first 30 minutes. So market, providing a lot of opportunities. That's what we're going to learn today. The hard themes, the hard stock, which are the stocks to pick up to trade in the morning, how to trade in the morning, how to trade the lot of options. So I will cover all that. This is how the traders are changing their life every day with the education here. As you see, only 8% were red, 70% green. We had few flat traders in the morning, a lot of new traders joining as well. But so just want to discuss a lot about this lot of options as I teach you in a lot of options YouTube recaps as well. Before we start, just a quick recap for anybody who's new to us, new to my X account, new to our X accounts, new to our YouTube, any other platform, or new to our community. We trade a repeatable system. My repeatable system, Ripster EMA Cloud System, which includes a lot of my indicators, and Ripster MTF Cloud System, that I have been freely teaching for 8 years now, that traders have been using across the world. Traders use this system to trade with confidence. You can go to ripstereducation.com. You can see the lives that my system has changed with my free education over the years. Now, this system, all my teachings, all my concepts about day trading, swing trading, investing, we use the same system in our community. Our community, Tanner Trade Group, one of the largest, fastest growing online trading, live educational trading community, Tanner Trade Group, where we trade this every day. We use my principles, my teachings. We focus a lot on risk reward, rule-based trading, we just don't trade randomly. We talk a lot about psychology, mindset as well. That was a pretty good some pep talks in the community today. So what do we do? So in my team, in the pre-market, we make a plan. System is how you trade, setup is what you trade. Traders often struggle to what to trade. That's something we do. Make sure we have a game plan for our traders, so that they can learn the system. If you're completely new, it will take you a few months, maybe even a year, to master the system. And I highlight the top plays, earning plays, news plays, upgrades, downgrades, and in a way support and resistance and initial game plan. Thousands of my trade recaps you will see there on YouTube as well. We also trade a day 2 strategy. Day 2 strategy is another strategy invented by me, that I also did a free webinar on a day 2, day 3 strategy. Pretty successful strategy. There are some good movers there on Lily, and of course Rocket Lab ASTS was day 2 as well. We'll talk few about those as well. We also trade Mag 7 ETFs, SPY QQQ. We trade them every day. I teach you every day. I show you recaps every day. So we trade those with the EMA Cloud System. We provide these levels to the traders in the pre-market. We also provide levels for the crypto stocks. Traders can use this and trade crypto stocks using the Ripster Cloud System trading system. We also trade futures. Lately we'll be trading silver futures, gold futures, ES, NASDAQ futures. You can trade that. We provide those levels to the traders, so the traders can use the Ripster EMA Cloud System. I also have a webinar on futures. A lot of my webinars, over 26 webinars in that community, a lot of free webinars on the YouTube. So you can learn all this, whatever I teach. You can be part of the traders who are consistently green. You don't need to be part of the community. But feel free to, you want to join, because we have a lot of tools for the traders. We have 3 option flow scanners, stock scanners, MOC, hold, unhold, order flow, breaking news, a lot of tools which are like $500-600 a month, which are freely available for the traders in the community. I'm live on the voice first few hours. My screen is live shared. I even do a live pre-market planning in the community, so guiding the traders. There are thousands of traders on our trading floor all day long. Providing ideas, sharing ideas, keeping eyes on the market, so that we can have a consistent portfolio growth in the market and keeping our losers small, winners big. So let's see how so many traders were green in the community today, how they found the success, why only 8% traders were red. Talk about some options strategies, talk about the prices, choosing the stocks, how users use Ripster Clouds to have big winners as well. Okay, let's start. So we're going to start with the hottest theme of 2026, space and rocket. I have been talking about this theme for a while now, and you will see the FinTwit is talking, right? I'm not the super genius here who but if you're completely new to the stock market, you do not know what is hot, what is moving. We being professional traders, we keep eyes on that if you're completely new. But if you're a FinTwit guy, if you're already aware, you already know the hottest stocks. But difference between me and a lot of other traders who throw the tickers out is that I show the traders the system, how to trade them, how to swing trade them, how to day trade them. So as you know, space rocket stocks, the complete list, we have our complete list, space rocket stocks, which were hot today as well. These are our stocks, Rocket Lab, Space, Lunar, bunch of those names. I've been talking about it since we talked about it since December. I also provided it as investment idea for my trade group, also tweeted it out. Best sector for investment, space, XIPO as well, Rocket Lab and ASTS. You're going to do a quick chat GPT to understand what they do. ASTS, we will do some another video to explain that. But we have been making profitable trades on this for a while now, right? So what happens if they also have a news? Then they become A+. So if you're choosing some other ticker and you say I chose a bad ticker to trade because you are not aware of the market sentiment, where the market volume is. The volume is in the space stocks. The other thing is, like stock like ASTS, you also need to know the breakouts. Okay, let's start with ASTS then. So let's start first with ASTS. So let me see, let's start with this. So ASTS was also a weekly all-time high breakouts. Then what happened? You already know it's a hot stock. It was already on our day 2 setup. It got a news. Missile Defense Agency, SHIELD program, position there. So all-time high chart, cautious of any profit taking it open, long over yesterday highs or long over the pre-market highs. That was the plan. Resistance repivot 110, 119. These are the levels where you would long. These are the levels where you would, under which you will not long, or these are the levels which you will use as a support bounce or a risk for your long setups. So so they have news, right? So we have news. Rocket Lab will discuss in a bit. The sector is hot. Everything in that sector is running. We have the list. Lunar was running today. LDW running today. You need to know about the sector. Now we have a big news on it. So then what happens? So looking at ASTS, you see this 106 level that we had in our pre-market plan right here, 106. You see that it pulled back right here. As soon as I see the swipe, I take it long, and I tell my trader it's a breakout long. I didn't buy here. This was my entry 108.36. You can see my entry right here, 108.36, and my stops are right here. I'm risking $2, and that's fine. But I made $12, so I risked 1,000, and I made 6,000, right? So one risk to 6 reward trade. So ASTS. So what do you look for? The levels. You look for this Ripster clouds. You look for this pre-market level. This is where you enter. You don't want to have too much time. Okay, if you miss the morning entry, then I was telling the trader, watch the pre-market highs. This is the pre-market high, right? So this is the breakout. Ideally, when it pulls back, the candle pulls back, you're gonna go to 3-minute as well if you want. This is where it bounces. So a lot of traders were buying there. I told the traders to buy there, because then if it holds this, it's going to work out, and you're going to put your stops right under the 3450 clouds, right? Yeah, so you can do that. So ASTS breakout long, right? The stops under 109, pre-market high bounce, and we move the stops break even, and rest, my friends, was how the traders made insane gains on ASTS. ASTS ran all the way to 120.80. I sold, you can see that I sold at 119 here on ASTS. I locked in 90% of my position. Pulled back. We did trade later in the day as well when it was reclaiming. I sent out the alerts that you could reclaim here. Now let's see how the options did, right? Since we're going to talk about the options. So let's take a look. So we are here looking at 110 calls, right? So the 110 calls from the morning, 120 went to $9 or $11 even. So what does that mean? That means your $1,000 could have turned into $11,000. So now how do you trade it? So the way you trade is you do not put your whole portfolio. I have a different video in the morning. I tweeted as well. This was the level, this was the level. Let's see if I can, let me put here. So this was the level right here, corresponding to this little pullback here. If you miss the morning move, you buy here $3. Ideally, your assumed risk is 100%, but we know that lows was 120. So you know that your risk right here is more than 50%. So you should know that if you're buying a $300 worth, 150 is your risk, $600 worth. So you cannot buy your whole portfolio. You cannot buy 5 grand worth if your portfolio is 30 grand. You're going to lose $2,500 by the time the trade doesn't work. So you have to have small position and look for the win. And I know that this is right here is a pre-market lows. Ideally, I would keep it as an assumed risk of 100% because many times it will dip and then push. So I'm looking at my clouds, and this is where you buy here. Ideally, you were long right when I told you the pre-market highs. You get an entry down 250. You hold it. When you get 100%, you sell some, and then you hold it into 10 a.m. And you see that if these entries, even if you're a little late, if you're pretty early, like if you're not trading stock, like I just showed you my stock entry, then you get $2 fill. By the time we hit 118, you're selling for $8. Your $200 is $800. Your $400 is $1,600. So you take half off, 60% off. You sell as we go up. You sell, but you hold. Because the ATR of the stock, right? The problem comes is people are risking, and a Lotto is risking 100% to make 50%. That's not how it works, right? This was, I have other Lotto watch list recaps as well. Watch them for some bigger movers. This actually gave up because ASTS stopped high of the day in the morning. So of course it's going to give up. But by that time, we were already done. We're already, if you're $1,000, you already turn into 6 grand. Your $500 already turned into 3 grand. But you need to be ready. You need to be ready with the stock, the news, the top, the theme, the pre-market planning. If you're buying shares like me, selling it for $11 per share profit, you need to be ready for that. So that's how you trade a lot of options, right? Assuming that risk, using the clouds as your risk level. If you have, let's say you have $20,000 account, right? I would just buy 2 options, and I wouldn't like to lose more than 300 there. But the traders go big size. Even if you have $20,000 account, $600 worth of this option or any other option, that $600 you turn into $1,800. Nice, nice 5% increase. 5% increase in portfolio if you do that, right? So you need to have a smaller size, bigger win. Do not go crazy big sizes. That's the biggest problem. So that was ASTS, big win for us in the community about the shares and a lot of options. I have a lot of webinars on options. You can watch it if you're in community. All right, so let's look at Rocket Lab, right? So Rocket Lab, another part of the space stock, another one big runner. Also a bullish chart, not as big of a breakout as ASTS. ASTS was a nice weekly breakout, making a breakout pattern. It has been running for a while now, but again, hot sector. It also had a news. ASTS had a news yesterday. Rocket Lab had a news. Morgan Stanley tier 1 upgrade. Always remember, I have repeated, this is an A+ setup, guys. A+ setup. All-time highs, tier 1 upgrade, good volume, good pre-market action, overweight, target 105. All-time high bullish bias over yesterday highs and pre-market highs, no long under 92s. So as soon as I see that it's pushing over yesterday highs, I told the traders to long it. You see my entry was a little late on the pre-market highs, but I was willing to risk $1.50 there by the end of the day. By the end of the day, I made $5 there. 1 risk to 3 reward. I made a 3 reward trade there. So I tell the traders to long it right at the open. You see 9:30 open. They were ready for the pre-market plan. You see the 3450 clouds are holding. We're pushing our pre-market highs. Your risk level, and then you hold. Initial stops you put under 93, 93.50. I always tell traders to move their stops up once it's, some traders were just done by 10 a.m., right? But you see from 94 it went there, pulled back. The thing about Rocket Lab was it was holding the clouds. You do not cut under the clouds. Clouds, holding. I told the traders Rocket Lab is flagging, and from that flag break, beautiful push towards the 100. I gave the 100 target on Rocket Lab. Why is that? Because the statistics says whenever a high beta stock trades between 95 and 100, it gravitates toward that 100. So that's why I gave the 100 magnet. Some kind of traders were panicking when it pulled back, but you have to respect the cloud. The cloud never broke. We almost hit close to the 100. This was the flag breakout. The market was dumping, but Rocket Lab held on its own, pretty strong, held on its own, and it broke. You see this, clouds are holding. You have to have patience in this price action. You just have to move your stops up on the 10-minute chart. I did a video on how to trade a smaller time frame with the Ripster clouds. We'll talk about it sometime. They remind me that. But as it started to break out, I told the traders to move the stops up. we used to move the stops to 95. I told the traders we are going for magnet, 100 magnet. Once it broke here, we exit. So let's look at the lot of options, how we did it. A lot of options. We can look at 95 calls in the morning. These are next 2 weeks. Okay, that's fine. Even if you're not trading next week. Next week went from 360 to $7. 100% trade on next week. So I'm sure this week's lot of options might have moved better. We can take a look at the same 96 lot of option or 95 lot of option for today. Let's see where is it? Okay, let me get it. Give me a minute here. All right. So we got it right here. So you can see that this auto option went from $350 pullback $490, right? So $100 became to $500 or $400, whatever. But initial position, if you bought 2 contracts, you're risking $200. You bought 5 contracts, you're risking $1,000. But that 1,000 turned into 350 because the clouds never broke, right? So if I go here, let me go here quickly on Rocket Lab. Yeah. So the clouds never broke. You see this 95 call went high. Of course, it's going to come back. There's a theta. You need to understand options. The problem with the options is a lot of new traders do not understand theta, IV, gamma. They do not understand that. You need to learn. You need to understand how the option moves, the liquidity. There's so many things you need to learn. Learn those, come back, watch my videos. You will understand if you want to make money like this. But you know the assumed risk. If it, let's say it tanked, I would have lost $200. I'm fine with it. Although it's assumed risk, I do not want to lose $200, but it's assumed risk. I assume that I lose $200. I'm buying $1 option here. But then that dollar option, if I'm risking $200, I need to make at least $300. And that's what exactly happened. You risked $200, you made $400 here because it went to 600, the 2 contracts. Similarly right here, you hold this flag and the same one, you can hold same one or you can buy another lotto with profits. Let's say you made money here and then you rolled into the 96 lottos because it was cheaper and you were resumed the risk and you bought 96 lottos for $2 from, you made for 500 in the morning, you bought 200 worth of this and that 200 became 400. So that's how you could turn, buy initial one, take some profit, buy another one, use Ripster Clouds and hold it, and boom, turn your 200 into $800 with this strategy. So that's how you do it, guys, using Ripster Clouds, options, the levels, the pre-market planning. No hindsight from me, everything step by step, real guidance. So that's how the traders in the community are changing. Lot of good feedback today. How traders are changing their lives with my education. A lot of improvement in my traders. A lot of improvement in my community traders. Even if those are not community that I've been helping freely over the years, you can go on Ripster Education. You can see and check it. So make sure you use it. Do not lose your hard-earned money trading options without understanding. Make sure you choose the right tickers, the hard sectors, the biggest volume tickers, right? So let's take a look here. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Spike QQQ, but let's just talk about Ride first. So Ride was our another setup, long setup here. Let's just recap here. So Ride, our pre-market planning was big news. I made it red in the pre-market planning. Data center leads with AMD, big news. See, all other Bitcoin miners have become an AI data center. So Ride is also trying to do that. So as soon as I see this breakout right here, I say flag breakout, 19 target. 1820 was our pivot. As soon as we break that 1820, you take it long. Your risk is the 30 cents here. I gave the 19 target in the morning. We didn't initially hit 1880, pulled back. You add here 512 clouds, and then it again hit 19. You just need to ride the clouds. Beautiful trade, right? And once it broke 512, we were out of it. And if you want to, this is a good account for the smaller account traders. Let's see how are the Lottos moving there. We can look at. I do not like to go too far on a small ATR stock, so let's look at 1850, see how the 1850 Lottos moved there on the right. So there was a right options here. Let's take a look here. So 1850s this morning, let's look at 30-minute chart. So you see the 1850s, they went from 10 cents to 40 cents to 50 cents, right? When it pulled back, you will see that because they're losing the theta value, they're coming back to the 10 cents. But once it pushed here higher, they went to 80 cents, right? So you need to stay closer to the money. If I look at $18, which was in the money, did much better. So $18 option went from 30 cents to dollar, right? So $300 to $1,000. Much you would have made much better money if you stick with 18 once. It even went to $1.80. So you see the 300-400% gain. Good one for small accounts. You have $3,000 account. You buy 3 contracts here for $100, or that $100 you turn into $300. Your $3,000 account goes to $3,300. So that's how you do it, guys. That's how you trade these stocks. And you do a lot of options. Find these plays which are hot, the hot news in the pre-market. Plan it. I even tweeted out the game plan freely today for everyone on Twitter. So hopefully that helped.